We went from, business as usual, everything is normal. We went for a vacation March 11th,
Mhm.
and when we came back on the 18th, everything was so much different, right? So we stayed home
Yeah.
for 14 days, isolated, and during those 14 days, it was like a big shock. And
Mhm.
luckily, everybody's healthy and well, so we're not, facing some hardships that other families are facing. But it's hard to get your head around it. But once you do, I guess it's just try to keep it positive from then on.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's definitely. I find it's like going in dips. Like you're like, oh, for this, and then you're like, oh, I just want to do nothing, and then you're like, I'm all
Yeah.
for this, and it's just it can definitely be challenging for many as well. For anyone watching, I've always worked from home, but I've never worked from home with everyone else here with me. So
Yeah.
that's a challenge on its own. So yeah, it's just different things that kind of contribute to your overall well-being, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
Hi,
yeah.
Beverly.
How are you?
It's been so long. Oh my
Oh
God.
my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, my favorite person. I think it's been like a year. We have not been on since Crystal started doing the webinars. I can tell you that. It was
It's
No,
been it's
it's been a
been
year at least.
way too long. And when
way
you go
too
in
long.
my dashboard, you're going to go crazy on me, I
He's
think.
gonna go
Oh, are you
cry.
going to be in trouble?
No, it's okay. I mean, we're I needed a nudge, to tell you the truth, because I feel like I have neglected my dashboard um, with all this COVID business. It's been a little bit hard to kind of get going and make things productive, should I say?
And so tell me about your market and kind of what you're experiencing right now and seeing what's changing. Because, everyone's markets are so different. So some of my agents are busier now than they were before COVID.
Well, I've been in touch with all of the buyers and the sellers that I've been working with before COVID, and just kept a personal connection with them throughout this time, and kind of reassuring them, things will be okay, and just try to keep it positive in that sense. I've had some closings happening now, which we had to accommodate visits and final walkthroughs, and just going through the motions of doing things virtually more than ever. So with all of that, I've been busy, but the market has definitely slowed down. There's a lot of people that wanted to buy a home now, and they are not in an emergency. They're holding off and they're waiting. Um, and I think it's okay. If somebody does not have to buy and sell, they don't have to go right now, because it's a little scary, right? So
Certainly. And,
yeah.
it's kind of where my conversations have been going. I talked to a lead yesterday and he's like, well, with everything going on right now, I'm kind of on hold. And I said, well, I would be concerned if you weren't. Yeah. I mean, because really it's the unknown of, well, I don't want to buy now because the prices might come down, and we're kind of back in that 2008, 2009 place where, well, I don't want to buy now because the prices might come down more. And it really throws the pendulum off of what's happening with the market, so to speak. But I think real estate, just like anything else, when this all clears out, I think we're going to see a wild swarm of people that just want to do everything that they've been holding off on doing. Because
Yeah, I think so too.
we've readjusted to a new norm, and now it's like, okay. So do you have a
I
list?
have to, and just so you know, Bev, I have to do the same thing as on his account, so I'm gonna have to share my screen.
Okay.
It's yeah, they were supposed to have this done, so I'm not too sure, but
Why
I
did they
probably just
change
need to
the blur?
prompt them.
Why
That's
did they
all.
change it?
We changed it to hide more information about the lead itself, but so that if we were doing little training videos or things like that, we didn't necessarily have to have that person on board, but it wasn't easy to identify whose dashboard we were in.
Yeah.
But it's obviously created an issue. And so
For me anyway.
it's like, yeah, like anyone else is fine, but even then you have your calling, you kind of need to know who you're calling, needless to say. So yeah, so that was mine. So what I'm going to do is I will, as you kind of figure out your filter to call, then I will just.
Well, and I'm going to leave this up, and I always call you Alia. What do you want me to dial? Like, what is, are your filters jacked up? Kind of what's, talk to me. How can I help?
I've had the filters set up as we've had them set up from before, like the BBC 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And before COVID, we were working the dials. I mean, when I say we, was my partner Yasmina and myself. So we've been dialing and doing our thing. But since COVID, I have not been doing any dialing through the CRM, which I know is horrible because I'm not doing what I should be doing. And I don't mind keeping myself accountable and saying it out there so everybody can hear. I'm sure a lot of the other people who are using this system aren't using it fully always. And especially now, because it's a little bit of a tricky thing. Like, just from trying to go about, like, what do you tell someone? Like, how do you approach a person who was looking to buy homes now, and not sound like you're trying to sell them something? I was able to do this with some leads that I've been in touch with and have built that personal relationship with. So I was able to, because they want to talk to me, right? And dialing people that may not want to talk to me now created that resistance in my mind. I guess.
Different fear now.
Yeah. Like, I'm not afraid of rejection. I never was. Well, maybe I was at some point at the beginning, but after doing a lot of dialing, I got over the fear. And through your help, Beverly, because a lot of the help I've received at the very beginning and how to contact people who, who are strangers, and like, it was very hard. So with your enthusiasm and following your lead, I was able to do a lot more. So now it's like a different rut that I find myself in. So yeah, you could dial like BBC 1, I guess.
Well, let me ask you this, because there's two ways we could go about this today. And, we'll take it from the participants as well on their suggestion. So if I'm just going to ask you this, if they registered over the last couple of days, is it different?
They couldn't have because all my lead gen is turned off.
Okay. When did you turn it off?
Just before I went on vacation on the 11th of March. Okay.
So you are going back. So that kind of is going to answer my question. Because when I look at a group of leads right now in the situation that we're in, if you have people that are actively engaged looking at properties that they just Googled and came in, you're not as hesitant to make those conversations because they were looking first. Yeah. It's the ones that have been in your dashboard for 5, 6, 7, 8 months that you haven't communicated with. How do I call these people now? So is there a different hesitation?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Is there a different hesitation with the leads that are older in your dashboard on your ones that haven't been active 30 or more days that might be more helpful for everyone for me to listen to basis a newer lead that may have just registered in the last 14 days to a month? Is there a difference in your mind?
Well, not really.
Okay, so it's all leads in general. And please, folks, pop in the chat. I would love to know your opinions as well. If you feel there's a difference to leads that are newly coming in or leads that are older, I don't mind doing either or. I've been having amazing conversations. More people are answering the phone because people are home. and they're looking for social interaction. So it's learning how to have that conversation. So maybe we can even mishmash it a little bit between the two. Do me a favor, Crystal, and go ahead up to the filters. Okay, you're not in the filter. Go ahead up to the apply save filters.
Yeah.
And go ahead and click on BBC One and just see. All right, there's 24 in here. So these have registered within the, let me see, these have never been called. Is there a registration date on this?
4/12.
So that was the most recent. What's the least recent registered? It's probably the last 30 days, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I just created a filter while you guys have been talking.
Yeah.
And I created a filter that says last activity is last 5 days, pipeline is try to contact, and tag is not a test tag.
Okay. Did you save the filter so Crystal can click on it?
I did, and it's called Bev Dials under company.
I
filter.
love it. So it'll be at the
Bev
bottom,
Dials.
probably. It'll be at the bottom.
Keep going down, I think.
Did you create it as a personal?
No, as a company.
I just have to refresh because it
refresh.
just
Yeah, it's right there. So
Perfect.
obviously some of these numbers may not be valid for us here, but these are all leads that I've never talked to. I've had sent them a text message with a little update, and none of them have replied. There is a invalid number in one of these, so we could skip that one.
You can just add the filter from validity, but it's like, yeah, there's most of them have valid numbers.
Perfect. All right, now I have to refresh my screen as well. All right, beautiful, beautiful. So while I'm adjusting in here, Brent had asked, how do we address older leads that we haven't worked with or talked to in the past or in a long time? What's the intro? And what I've been working on with that is, depending on how old the leads actually are, I was calling ones yesterday that hadn't been called in since September, October. It's a website that I'm just working in. I called his leads a year ago, and he called me. He's like, Bev, clean up my dashboard. And it's pretty much cleaned up. So I'm in the older leads now, and I'm like, hey, Brent, this is Beverly. Oh, it's a long time follow-up, but we're just really checking in right now because there's so much going on with the real estate industry, and we really don't know what's going to go on. You had been looking at homes and a while ago. And we really just want to know if you want to continue to receive not just housing updates, but community updates as well, because our restaurants are affected, our community is affected. Do you have an interest in, whatever is going on in the market that we can relay over to you? And people are really, really compassionate. And I mean, yeah, I get a couple people hang up on me, and he's in a second home community. He's in Breckenridge, Colorado. So it's even, in my opinion, it's even more difficult calling leads that are in a second home market, because they're like, WTF, right? Like, why are you calling me to buy a house now when I can't even think about my own house? But they've been really, really awesome. Yeah, as I said, some people hang up on me, but okay, next, move on. But the ones that I've had conversations with, it's really been amazing to ask them, how is your family? How are things going on with you? How are you adjusting to the changes? And just having some empathy for them. And because we don't have the social interaction that we normally do, and people are more open to having a good conversation now. So I'm hoping that we can get somebody on the phone today that we can go through that scenario. And I'm getting ready to post a couple of my audios, and I had sent people over there last week to Fix Your CRM in Facebook, where I'm actually offering tips like this. And it's been slow coming because I need some dashboards to dial, because that's what I said, Breckenridge is pretty much cleaned up, but it's really not as, call leads. I'm just going to minimize some screens here so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm not sharing my screen, so I can't see what I'm doing. If that makes any sense. So you just want me to start dialing this list? It doesn't matter. Do you want me to sort it in any way, shape, or form? I can just start at the top.
You could start at the top. Really, it's
okay. And do I need to open notes? Have you had any conversations with anybody in here? Could I just?
No, none of them have had a conversation with at all.
Okay, beautiful. I shouldn't lose it. I'm just going to be intermittent for a second.
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're kind of cutting in and
Can you
out a
hear
little
me?
bit. Choppy. Your screen's frozen though.
Am I back though?
Yeah,
Am I
now
back?
you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my agent locator just locked up. And I don't know why my Wi-Fi does that. It drives me bananas.
Well, there's a lot more people online right now too.
Yeah, but it does it all the time in here. Like, because I
Oh.
have 65 and then I have 5G 65. And
Yeah.
it'll just click back to the 65 and it's not as strong.
Oh, okay.
And it just randomly does it. Okay, so yeah, I'm just starting at the top. I'm just starting at the very top and we'll just roll through it. Put out some good vibes, peeps. Everybody's gonna answer the phone today.
Lots of calls, lots of answers.
Hello.
Hi, Hayden.
Who's this?
This is Beverly. I'm doing a check-in, Hayden. It looks like you had been online and you were looking at some condos and townhomes in the Toronto area.
I was just looking at. I'm not interested in getting it.
Well, what about your future plans, Hayden? Do you plan on making a purchase in the future?
I can't afford. So
Okay, so is that what you were looking for, to kind of see what the prices were and kind of what the affordability was?
that's correct. Yeah, I just wanted to see how much money I need to collect.
Gotcha. Did you get a good understanding, or what is your situation now? Are you renting right now?
Yes. I know my situation, and I'm sorry I don't have enough time to talk to you.
That's
So
fine.
I
Hayden.
will just I'll let you talk to other customer. Okay.
All right. Thanks so much. You too. Bye-bye. Well, that was quite respectable. I have never had that happen before.
I'm just trying to see, because I know you called Hayden and then it.
So I just to save you some time, I made some notes while you were talking, so I'll save the notes.
Okay.
Bev?
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So I'll just quick look at the notes before I make the dial then.
No, like as you talk to Hayden, I made
Oh,
some
you
notes.
made the notes, so I can just stop. Okay, I'm on it now. I don't know, because I just closed out of it. I don't know if it actually recorded the call, so make sure you make that a call note.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Hayden. I'm gonna go into
That was awesome. Oh, I thought you were going to make notes on some of the leads.
No. None of these have been spoken to,
That's
so
awesome.
I think the next one on the dialer is a long distance number. It might not work.
Yeah, there's a 919. It just ding donged, so that's a bad number. I'll just mark it. There you go.
I've made it a tag bad number.
Beautiful.
Yeah, well, he's in India, so he'd be.
Hey man, this is a fun way to call leads. I'll just dial and you can leave the notes.
There you go. It's like a group effort.
I need to re-strategize my business here.
Yeah, get in, get out.
Says he was just last active 6 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Registered 50 days ago.
Yeah. This is a landline.
Hello, we are not available.
Oh, he's available. He just chose not to answer the phone. Well, this is interesting. So you have a note in this one that you looked him up in the yellow pages. So you found his address? Is that what this is?
You've reached Kelly at 905-510.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so this one has a first name as something different and it's not Kelly. So what I'm gonna do is down the lead description, Kelly is on voicemail. And if you wanted to do John and Kelly in the first name so that when someone answers the phone.
Yeah. I'm changing it right now.
Beautiful. And these are these, you know, I love that it just goes to voicemail that fast because it saves you some time.
Hello.
Hi, is this Anu?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Beverly. I am doing a check-in, Anu. It looks like you had been online and you were looking at some homes in the Oakville area.
Oh, yeah, I were. I'm not looking anymore.
Not any, did you find something or did you change your mind? What
Yeah, I
changed?
changed my mind. I'm not moving.
Okay, well, what about in the future? Do you have any future plans?
Probably the future. I'm looking at next year, maybe.
Next year. And what is your current situation? Are you renting?
No, I own my condo.
You own your condo? And so what made you change your mind? Did you just not like what you were seeing or?
No, my mortgage, I just decided to wait until my mortgage is out.
Gotcha.
It's going to be in January next year.
Well, let me ask you this, Anu. Would it be helpful if we could send you market demographics of your community right there to keep you updated on what's going on with prices?
For sure.
What is your address, Anu?
It's 65 Elm Drive West.
Perfect. And what we'll do is we will just go ahead and just send you updates on what's happening with the market so you can kind of get an idea. It's going to be a very general idea, but you'll be able to get an idea of what's happening with your market on the homes that are listing and selling right there over the course of the next year. And then I'll just have Elijah follow up with you every now and then and kind of see how things are going, okay?
Thank you so much.
You are
Appreciate it.
so welcome. You have a wonderful day and stay safe.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Did you get it?
I know that condo building, so I will set up a nosy neighbor for that condo building for her.
Beautiful. And I think that was the whole premise of today's webinar. Am I right, Crystal?
Yeah, so it's learning how to take these leads where a lot of them are putting their searches on hold and trying to get them on that street match so that you can keep them informed on the market activity that's likely to have some level of impact on their home and their value. That you guys can do. So as she grabbed the address on the lead, and in addition to it being added to Street Match, one other thing you guys can do is put this in the more detail section. And the reason being is you can print labels from here. You can actually start to do, if you're doing any kind of print marketing or anything like that where it's direct mail, you'll actually start to gather addresses for leads in your system that you can do that at a later date.
That's very convenient. Thank you.
You know, Brent, I actually called her earlier and said, answer the phone and say this. This happens to me all the time. I'll get into trainings. They're like, you staged that. I'm like, I didn't. I swear to God.
That was very smooth, Beverly. That was amazing.
Well, anyone that's watching, you can see how she didn't let the door shut on her because this person was like put their search on hold.
Yeah.
You know, and it's now the Street Match is an added touch, and then of course just with Elijah, just
it just opened up a whole new follow-up for me. Was now anytime something lists or sells in her neighborhood, and it gives me another reason to give her a call back and ask her, hey, how many bedrooms and washrooms do you have in your condo? How many parking spaces? Because that could affect how much more you could get for your place down the road. And it just opens up a whole new dimension of conversation, I think.
Well, and this really brings up a great conversation in and of itself. When you remember times in your life that have been challenging, you think back to the people that were there for you in those moments. And by us making phone calls now and eliciting that new relationship, they're going to remember you more now than they would have 3 months ago. Yeah. And having the opportunity to connect with somebody now, they're going to appreciate that long-term touch and check in and nurture than they ever would have before. And I really feel this is such a great, easy way to build your value differently than the opportunity we had in the previous. And I was actually at an event, believe it or not. It was an event. There was 9 of us. It was a 3-day event. And my boyfriend he owns a restaurant, and we had all ordered food from his restaurant because it was right around the corner. And the one lady said to me, she says, you know what is so amazing about this whole thing? We are sitting here appreciating something that used to be so common to us that we never would have thought about how much it means to patronize somebody. And these times right now have really put folks into a different awareness. And that's why the conversations are so, so different. So I just want to encourage you to not be afraid of this, because the conversations are actually better. And that's a cool tone.
Europe.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
437.
No, where is 437? Shouldn't be. Well, it says Toronto.
Yeah,
But if they have call forwarding to someone.
Oh, if they're out of the country.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Ying.
Hmm?
Hi, this is Beverly. I'm doing a check-in. It looks like you had been online and you're looking at some condos and townhomes in Mississauga.
Not right. Yeah, I was, but not right now because of this situation that we have.
Absolutely, Ying. Well, what are you thinking of for your future, as far as what was the reason that you were thinking of making a move?
Oh, because we've been living in an apartment. I don't want to live in an apartment forever. Nobody wants.
So are you renting then?
Yes.
And are you in a lease term, or are you month to month?
I don't know what's the difference.
Do you have, is your lease going to expire at a certain date, or are you just paying month to month?
I don't think so.
So you're just month to month.
Yeah.
Well, how much are you paying a month in rent?
$1,200 for 2 bedrooms.
And as far as money for a down payment, do you have any money for a down payment?
I have a little bit.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what you were seeing online, Ying, were you seeing anything that was meeting your expectations in regards to a price point?
I'm not really, I'm not sure, because right now I still have debts.
Okay.
So I don't know if how much they're gonna approve me, but my income is reasonable, I think.
Well, let me just ask you this, Ying. No obligations at all, just strictly education. If you were able to find something, now, do you have a little bit of flexibility in the monthly payment, or is $1,200 kind of your max?
I can go over that.
Okay. So
yeah, I can afford at least $3,000.
Okay. So instead of throwing the baby out with the bathwater and making a decision off of just what you're seeing, would it be helpful to talk to somebody just to see, okay, well, if I'm looking at what would I get pre-approved for? And would there be a home that would meet my expectations? And then making that decision based on facts and not just feeling. Is that something that resonates with you?
Sorry, say that again.
So if you talk with a mortgage lender and he says, okay, you can afford this much of a house, this is what your payment's going to be like. And then it's like, okay, are there homes or condos that would meet my expectations that might work, or are there not? Because right now you're basically paying someone else's mortgage, right? And owning a home, you would at least have a tax write-off, and you're contributing to your own future. So making a decision off of facts, because you have the numbers and everything in front of you, versus, oh, I'm looking online and I'm kind of scared. I don't want to move forward. So it's not that we're telling you we're going to sell you a home and we're going to make you buy. It's we want to do what's best for you. And if you could take that $1,200 and find a home that that's comfortable with your budget, going through those motions might help you to make an educated decision on facts.
But I'm not worried about anything like that because I'm sure that I already have money put aside, even if I lose the job for like at least 5 years or whatsoever.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So what's the real fear?
Right now, I'm in collection. That's my problem.
Okay, gotcha. And what does that time frame look like for you? Do you know?
For the collection?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay. So here's what we'll do. Why don't we just follow up with you in a few months and see how things are going and kind of see where that's at. And, you know, when it's a good time for you to talk to a lender. And so even have you talked to a lender for someone to advise you as to what that looks like?
I have not talked to anybody yet. I'm just browsing.
Would that be helpful for you just to know?
I'm sorry?
Would that be helpful for you just to know?
Yeah, I think so. If someone is going to advise me, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So here's what I'm going to do. I work with Elijah. I'm going to have him reach out to you and just give you some information so that you can contact a lender. And, you know, he'll just talk to you a little bit about kind of what the process looks like. And then that way we can start putting a plan in place for your future. How does that sound?
Because what I was advised with my financial advisor, if I go like private lender, that would be a lot of money because I don't want to pay a lot of interest.
Yeah, and we're not going to do anything that is going to create any, you know, distress to you, but we just want to educate you in the process so that a plan can be in place so that you can kind of have an end game and have a knowing instead of just going, I don't know.
Yeah, especially right now because of the situation. I am not willing to go anywhere. Like, I don't want to meet up with somebody or, you know, I'm not going to look around and then
100%.
find a house or what. So I'm not into that yet.
Yeah, no, we totally respect that. But this is just the information gathering time, right? With no pressure, no pressure. So we just want to make sure that we get you the information so that you have something to look forward to and maybe kind of we can get a date in the future.
Yeah, you have my number. You can call me anytime.
You got it. Thank you so much. And you'll be hearing from him, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Be safe. Bye now.
So you're going to hire me to call your leads again? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think this was definitely warrants a follow-up call and dig in more, because at some point she said that she has enough money saved up to pay her bills for 5 years, but she's in collections.
Yep.
That's kind of weird.
That's why I'm like, we got to go deeper here. And if she's willing to talk to somebody,
she's got a financial advisor too, so it's just kind of that. It's just kind of interesting. Like,
it's like a Bosnian pie. The phyllo dough is layered over and over like 1,000 times. So by the time you get down to the meat, you're gonna go through a lot of layers of dough.
Yeah.
Possibly. Well, and that's the lender's job, though, right?
Yeah. But it's a good start. I think she definitely is open to a conversation to come. And I've made a note here, and I'm going to reach out to her.
And that's what these conversations are about, is, you know, whether she leads to anything or not, for training purposes today, that was a great call to be able to see how you keep digging, because I was able to ask her, well, what is your real fear then? So as you're digging, you get to the real meat, because at the beginning of that conversation, you just don't think she's ready. Yeah, but it's like, okay, well, how much are you paying? Well, how much could you pay? Okay, well, if we could make that happen, then, oh, well, I'm in collections.
Yeah. Well, it was your digging that kind of kept going. And a lot of times we as callers would give up after maybe a second objection, maybe even at first. But you're relentless, Beverly, and I love it.
I don't even look at it as being relentless. It's just, I have
No,
such
I
a
know, you know what I
genuine
mean,
care.
right? Like
Yeah, I know. I
the
know what you mean.
persistence is there,
Yeah,
and
I
in a
just care
very
about people.
respectful way.
And it's making an educated decision based on, and that's what I told her, it's based on facts instead of having a fear of the unknown. Because a lot of times, especially first time home buyers, they start looking online and they get like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And they throw the baby out with the bathwater before they even know what the reality is. And it's just digging to find that fear. Two good conversations though today.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes.
Mylene?
Oh, I'm here.
This is Beverly, Mylene. I am checking in. Looks like you've been online browsing some condos and townhomes in Mississauga.
Sorry, I'm trying to what you said now. It was just calling back.
And what, I'm having a hard time, Mylene. What about your future plans?
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
bye-bye. I could have taken that further, but I couldn't hear anything.
I couldn't hear her at all.
Yeah, all I heard was, it was one of those, I'm not looking for anything now. And then when I asked about future plans, I couldn't hear anything. So that would warrant another phone call maybe in the future, but not,
Yep.
maybe just looking or on. I've been using a lot of on hold right now. And then I actually created a new tag that says market update. And Crystal, is there a way whenever you get them on those, I'm just going to call them property match because I don't know what they're actually called, but is there a way to pull a list of people that are on those that like the previous person that we talked to and got her address?
You would have to do it through the lead type. You would change their lead type, or yeah, because it doesn't actually tell you. It will show.
I think that would be a good tag to have.
It would show you in the back end of the Street Match who's all on that. Of course, they will pop up if they are active in here looking at those listings. But yeah, there's no actual way to find.
So I would say create a tag for your Street Match people. Then that way you know they're on it already.
Yeah, if you already have them on, if you put them on Street Match and they came in as a buyer lead, then you can easily locate them.
Carrie Morrison.
Hey, Carrie, this is Beverly. I'm just doing a check-in. It looks like you had been online browsing some homes in the Oakville, Burlington area, and I was just checking in to see what you were looking for.
Nothing in particular at this time. I'm just browsing.
And what about your future plans, Carrie? What are you thinking?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just thinking the house is up for sale. It's not moving. I don't expect it to move for another, I don't know how long.
How long's it been on the market?
And I'm just browsing. I'm actually browsing for my son.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll let you know if I find anything of interest. I'll let you know.
All right, Carrie. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Can anybody tell me why I didn't dig?
She sounds like a tough one.
And yeah, it's a little tough, but you can tell in her tone, she was short. And had I kept digging with that, it only would have annoyed her even more.
Yeah.
And yes, totally, Maria. She's upset that her house isn't moving. I would have loved to have gotten her address because if you heard, I did ask her how long her home's been on the market, and she just breezed right over it.
Yeah, there's a lot of those right now. I got a call from a listing agent for a house that is just 3 houses down the street from the one my buyers bought like 2.5 weeks ago. And I went over, I did a virtual tour. I sent them the video and they made an offer on the property. They got it accepted. And once it firmed up, the listing agent from 3 doors down called me and asked me, how did you sell that house and why didn't your buyers buy our house? And I was like, you know, this was the house they chose, and this is the one that met all the criteria and the price and everything was right, and it just happened. And I wish I could sell your house too, but you know, it's just how it is now. So there's a lot of frustrated people out there, and I understand her, you know, their house
Oh,
is
yeah.
not moving.
So what I would do, I would see if you can take her name and find it in the tax record and get her address.
Yeah.
And just save it as seller, and you see if you can find it in the MLS, because
Yeah.
it could potentially be a future listing. And make sure you make the note that she was looking for her son.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely more information that I need there, because if she's selling her house, but she's looking for her son, is there more involved here than what she was actually saying?
I'm going to dig in a little more on this one,
Yep.
and find out more info.
Big difference.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Shauna.
Good number. Big difference from this week, the last week though, with the amount of answering.
I know. We called all these leads last year, and like no one, or last week, and no one was answering.
This is like the good old days.
Oh, this next one, I got an email from them this morning.
Okay.
Asking about, let me just find.
Is this the out of country phone, the 918?
Yeah, but they emailed back. So I didn't talk to them over the phone. They wanted to, if they answered the phone call, they wanted to check in Meadowvale only. They wanted listings from Meadowvale only.
Okay.
So let's see.
Oh, okay. So did they give you a new number?
No, they're not in the country, I think.
It's
This
an
is
international number.
a international number. So I'll continue with them through email.
Perfect.
And I'll add a tag email.
All right, that's a bad number. I'm so excited the conversations we've had today, though.
People are willing to talk. Most of them, anyway.
Well, I love being that myth buster. You know, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to call my leads. I just feel bad. And, you know, it's really okay. And these are older leads. They're just been active. So this one, he registered 143 days ago. 5 days ago. Yeah, I will be brutally honest that when I started calling leads that registered like 3 years ago and haven't been called for 2 years, I kind of got that feeling. I'm like, wow, my God, it's been great conversations.
It's like it's like you can learn how to call, and then all of a sudden you're given a new subject.
Yep.
It's like, how do I call for people about this?
Yep.
And so you kind of go into those same emotional roller coaster about calling them than you would as if you were just doing it for the first time.
Yep. But like I've always said, my fear of not doing it and not having the business was so much greater than my fear of actually going through the motions to do it. And that's what really changed the game for me. And when you talk to people and they've had bad experiences, that even fueled what I wanted to do, because then I felt like I had to save these people from making a bad decision. All right, this one, there's a reminder in here to follow up. So I don't know if you've had a conversation or if it was just a mishap follow up. Shaza.
Shaza, 1 second.
There's no notes. There's just a 6 second, a 4 second previous call back in October.
There was,
Is it just a bogus reminder? Because the reminder was, it was for February.
yeah. I'm not sure what happened with this one. Yasmina made this one. Maybe she got on the phone with her, but there doesn't seem like so.
Well, let me look at text, because there's 6 text
No.
messages. No,
No.
no.
It's sometimes this is what happens. People will just create tasks for everything instead of filters.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and delete that task.
I did.
Good, good, good.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial.
Well, isn't that interesting? Why wasn't it, if it's been called twice, unless it's just been bad since October?
It could be a service interruption as well. Like I tried calling someone last week and I was like, it looks like you might have changed your phone number. And he's like, no, this is my phone number. And then I tried him again and it went through. I was like, okay, that's a different time of day.
Yeah, and well, and the phones have been goofy. Technology's been goofy because so many people are using it now.
Mm-hmm.
I know my Netflix is like bogged down. I'm like, it takes so long to.
Just to get it going.
And when you live in a condo, you're all kind of, we're all on the same, not the same network, but the more people that are on it.
It's all interfering with everything.
I've actually been really pleased with Zoom though, because I'll tell you, I used to know when people would get home from work and about 5:30, my Zooms would start to bog down, but to be able to do this during the day in my condo with everybody being home.
It's hard. Well, there's no.
You have reached a number that is not equipped for incoming service.
Okay.
It's weird.
So you're following with me, you know where I'm at?
Yeah.
We're on Shauna now.
Vibe.
Yeah, we're on Shauna now.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's who that one was. And I just usually mark those as wrong phone numbers, because if you can't ever get through to them, I put them on a bad phone number campaign. And what we've dialed about 20-ish leads.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
Shauna?
What is it?
Hi, this is Beverly. I'm just doing a check-in. Looks like you've been online browsing some condos and townhomes in Mississauga.
Yes, but this right now is not the time for me to talk about that.
Oh, well, what about your future, Shauna? You have future plans?
Beverly, can you call me back some other time? Because I'm going through a moment right now. I can't talk about that right now. Sorry.
Certainly, Shauna. We'll holler back at you. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, I'm waiting for somebody to ask what do you do with that.
I would create a task on that one, because that wasn't a typical call me later. That was like, it was like as if something was happening.
Yeah, it seemed like something was happening right now.
That it was just a truly an inconvenient time that you were calling her, that she doesn't not want to talk to you. It's just
Bingo.
that very moment was not ideal.
Bingo.
Yeah, I'm going to call her maybe like in the evening time. Maybe she'll finish whatever she was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and that's where it's so important for us to active listen, because if we're on a script, we tend to miss those things and we just try to keep going. And, you know, if they say, I'm at work, I can't talk, well, just 2 seconds. Do you plan on buying this year or next year? Because I want to know if you're worth my call back.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people say, oh, I'm not ready for a while. Well, tell me what a while is. Oh, September.
I know.
Hello?
Hello, Tanya?
Yes?
Hey, this is Beverly doing a check-in. It looks like you've been online browsing some homes and condos in the Mississauga area.
Yes, I was.
Just wondering what you're looking for and kind of what your plans are.
Well,
right now, no plans.
No, why? Come on, you don't want to buy a house tomorrow?
Yeah, no, probably not for a while. No.
And what is your current situation? Do you own or do you rent?
We rent.
Okay. And are you in a lease term by time, or are you month to month?
It's a lease term by time.
And when is your lease up?
February.
Okay. So is your plan to possibly be in something and not have to re-sign a new lease?
Hopefully, yeah. But I mean, but we're not sure about this whole, situation right now going on.
Absolutely.
So it all depends on that and when everybody gets back to work and back to a regular paycheck. So right now, everything has just been put on hold.
Absolutely. Well, would you like to stay updated with what's happening with the market and what's going on with prices? And that way, we're calling this our information gathering phase, right? Because nobody knows.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Wonderful. Well, you can look forward to some emails from Elijah, and we won't blow up your phone, I promise. But if you have any questions, you can just reach out to him, and you may hear from him just by phone, every so often, just to see how things are going with you. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Score. You got a time frame now.
Yep. I'm making a task to send her a video with information on what's going on in the area she's been most actively looking in.
Beautiful.
And I'm using BombBomb a lot these days, and even like before. So personal messages by BombBomb have been really nice. So
beautiful. And
I wish I was this comfortable with these leads as I have been with other clients I've already made a connection with, because I would call them every 2 days on whatever, like WhatsApp, Messenger.
Yes, you can, Maria.
And it's been really cool. But, even the rest of the leads, I think I'm going to be doing a lot more calling now.
So is this helping you to realize that it's okay?
Yeah.
Good.
I'll be honest. Yeah.
Good. Well, and even with her, I could throw in some humor. I'm like, oh, you want to buy a house tomorrow? She laughed.
Yeah, she felt like that.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed excited when she answered the phone too.
Uh-huh. People's calling me. I get social interaction.
I know. It's like someone new coming to your door and your dog goes crazy. Someone new.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been rewarding, really, to talk to people. And I talked to a lady. It was such a good conversation. I have a client in Naples, Florida, and the lady that I spoke to, it was one of those in-depth digs, and I finally got her to tell me that she owns a business and it's a franchise. And I said, well, which franchise do you own? And it's Cold Stone Creamery. It's ice cream. And I said, oh my gosh, you're going into your busy season. And I said, and she's only had it for a year. So she's, it's like, you have to have 2 years of tax returns on a new business. And I said, oh my God, I totally understand. But to be able to make that connection with my agent, I'm like, hey, go patronize her when she opens and meet her and talk to her. They will never forget those things. And you just never know what phone call is going to lead to what relationship in the future. I was putting a training, that one just disconnected real quick. That was Protz. I was putting a training together, and I was remembering, it was on FSBOs and how to work with FSBOs. And my story was, when I first started real estate in 2005, I moved into a new town, and that's how I was building my business. Drove by a for sale by owner, and I wrote the phone number down, called it, and I said, hey, I would love to come see your house. It's my job to kind of know all the inventory. I don't have a buyer, but I would really like to see your house and just kind of get an idea of what your expectations are by selling it. So he's like, yeah, come on over. I went and met with him. Yeah, well, he wasn't the owner. So he was the brother of the owner, and he was remodeling the house. And he said, I would love to hire you, but it's not my house. I'm like, oh, dang, snap. But he's like, I just moved here and I'm looking to buy. So he bought a home from me. His brother listed with another agent that was his wife's best friend. She did not get the home sold, so they in turn listed with me. I did not sell the home, we rented it out. But when we put it on the market for that 6-month stint, I had 4 buyers. Well, I had 2 people that were looking at the house, and they both had something to sell, and they both bought something different. So I had 4 deals from that. And then we rent it out. So right now I got 5 deals on it for sale by owner that's now rented for a year. The year comes up, I put it back on the market again for sale for rent. And I get another lady that's looking at the property, and she was going through a divorce and she had to short sell her property. So I sold her home. I had 6 deals off of 1 home that I never sold as a for sale by owner, you know, and that just taught me you have to think bigger than the phone conversation that's happening right now, because you never know what's going to lead to what. And that home, by the way, just sold this last year with another agent. He was renting it out for that long, but I made 6 or 7 deals off of that one house.
Hello.
Hello, Mahinder.
Hello.
Hello, this is Beverly. I am doing a quick check-in. It looks like you have been online browsing at some condos and homes in Mississauga.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, who is it?
This is Beverly. I'm checking in. You've been online looking at some condos and townhomes in Mississauga.
I'm not able to understand what do you say?
No, are you looking at homes online? I'm just wondering if you're looking at homes online. Are you thinking about making a purchase?
Who is this? Yeah.
This is Beverly. I'm calling. You've been getting emails from Elijah.
Would you be able to call me after 5?
We certainly can, yes.
I am at my work right away, okay?
We will call you back later. You have a wonderful day.
You too, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, good luck with that one.
Yeah. I'm a very patient person. Oh boy. Okay.
It seemed at first that there was a language barrier, but he seemed to tell you just fine that he was at work and to call him later after 5. So then that kind of omitted that whole story. Maybe he works in a shop and there's a lot of background noise.
Maybe. We'll give him some benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, give him some benefit of the doubt. So 25 of 42 leads. I think we've literally dialed 25. And how many conversations have we had?
I think 5-ish, 4 or 5.
Hi, this is Leah Koshi.
And there's a good number.
Yeah.
Bad number.
Yes.
So she, in the SMS, you could see that there's a pin given out. So we had her marked as a bad number. Now she gave us a good number. So I'll take the tag off now.
Oh, but usually it switches it back.
The phone number is still marked as invalid. So
Yeah,
that's where.
It usually switches it to valid.
Yeah, Leah's phone number stayed or
we're talking about Leah.
Valid.
Oh, I'm talking about Nicole.
We're talking.
So now Nicole, yeah, that's definitely a bad number. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we got like 3 minutes left. So if there's any questions or any comments, pop them in the chat now. And if you want to stay encouraged on calling your leads, I suggest you go to Fix Your CRM in Facebook and join the group. Who is now encouraged to call their leads?
Am I the only one?
Everyone's going to get off of this and you're going to pick up the phone and you're just going to start calling.
I'm going to do 2 hours of dialing right after we're done.
Yes.
Right, it would be the same scenario for new leads, right? So these leads are all different registration dates. Like some are older, some are newer, but the delivery of what Beverly is saying is exactly the same, regardless, because they were all recently active within the last 5 days. I think you had it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so Ray, what you're saying as far as, especially in a situation, the only difference that I make is when they say something back to me, because you probably heard everyone said, well, I'm on hold because I don't know what's going on right now. And identifying with that and respecting that. And if they don't say anything, if I'm calling old leads, I do bring that up and say, oh, I'm calling. I just want to see if you want to stay updated with the market, with everything that's going on right now. Because this is our way of able to process and eliminate leads in our dashboard that really have no intention or future. And this gives us a real reason to call them, because I'm looking at it as we're reaching out now in this time because we want to know if you want to know about the community. And I kind of put more of a spin on it because people have empathy for businesses that are going to be shutting down. So it's, do you want to stay up to date with the community and with what's happening with the market? Because it's very intertwined. Because what's happening with the community is what's going to eventually cause the real estate market to make the change. The real estate market doesn't change until something happens with the economy. So it's not really the real estate market yet until something happens with the economy. When things start happening with the economy, then it's going to affect the real estate market. And that's what they need to understand and help them to watch how the process unfolds. Because a lot of people aren't thinking about, well, the market's bad. Well, what happened that made the market bad? And this is such a great time. On one of my other trainings, I was talking about our VIP program. This is such a great time to really talk to your small business owners and ask them, how are they being affected? How can we help you? And as you're talking to leads, say, hey, would it be helpful if you live in the area? Would you like a list of restaurants that are still doing takeout, or a list of restaurants or a list of places that are open? And start building a community list with your small businesses that are still trying to operate. And that's something that you can talk to your database about. Say, hey, we're trying to help the community. If you're in the area, these businesses are doing this. No obligation, but we just want to get the word out for them. People will appreciate you taking that extra step. Not only the business owners, but the people in your database will like, wow, they're not just sitting back doing nothing. They're really trying to help their community. Because you help the community, it helps the real estate industry at large. So it gives you something to communicate with them about.
It's adding value in all different shapes and forms.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Well, you just got to take advantage of, and I hate to even say it that way because that sounds negative, but you got to make hay while the sun's shining. And it's, if we sit back and go, oh, this is the problem. Well, let's talk about what can be the solution, and make lemonade out of your lemons. And those are the ones that are going to succeed, not by the victim and doom and gloom, but by the, how can I help people? How can I help anybody right now? Exactly. And that comes across in your message when you're talking to leads.
Thank you, Beverly.
Absolutely.
You are so welcome. This was a pleasure beyond. I loved it. Yeah.
It was a good webinar.
It was truly, truly awesome for sure. Any other questions? Are we good?
I think that we are good. I'm always compiling lists, you guys, for Beverly Live dials of individuals to call. So if you are interested, you could always email me, crystal@agentlocator.ca. See if we can't get you on the list to be in one of our upcoming, and it is every first and third Wednesday of the month, typically. Ray, I'll add you to my list, Ray.
Maria would also like it.
Yeah, Maria.
Yeah, perfect. So I will add you guys to that list and kind of go from there. But, let us know how your calls are going. So even if you guys are in our Facebook group, just search for Facebook Agent Locator Clients if you have services with us. Let everyone know how you're doing with your calls.
Yeah, and tag me.
And boost people up, right? People need to see that it's working for others because they just get so hesitant and what have you. What's working? What was your spin that really seemed to get a great response? because we all need to just really help each other and lift each other up during these unsettling times.
Yeah, and feel free to tag me if you're in the Agent Locator. Tag me and ask me any questions or whatnot, because I always watch if I'm tagged.
Perfect.
All
Awesome.
right. Have a fantastic week.
Everyone as well.
You too, guys.
We'll see you
Bye.
next
Have a
month.
great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.